Hi everybody, I'm Tim Bulott. Welcome to Adventure Backcountry. It's been a while. We've been busy at work with the regular job, and Weapons Academy is booming. Anyway, we've had a development here on Project 93YJ, so we're going to share this little project with you. So the other day we're driving home on the highway, the Jeep dies at full speed, 70 miles an hour. It's like it just runs out of gas, okay? Luckily I was close to home, and with the red Jeep we were able to tow it, and we winched it up in here to the garage, and some testing has revealed that my fuel pressure is only at about 4 pounds, okay? So I had an extra regulator. I changed that regulator just to rule that out because it had a brand new one in there to start with. Okay, made no difference whatsoever. So I ran a couple of tests on the fuel lines to see if it would hold pressure, and it's not holding pressure. It's not building any pressure. Okay, fuel flow is very, very weak. Okay, it's basically just a trickle. The fuel pump is coming on, it is activating, but I'm really suspect of an issue with the fuel pump. If you'll recall, we put a new pump in it when we did our first original restoration of the back half of the vehicle, okay? Now this is a Crown Automotive fuel pump we got through Quadratech, and there's a small hose inside the unit, and I'm kind of suspect that possibly that hose failed or the entire unit failed, okay? So like I said, it is moving small amounts of gasoline, but not near enough to get our fuel pressure up to start the vehicle. The vehicle starts fine. It's got spark. It ignites when I use starter fluid or carburetor cleaner, so that brings us back to the fuel pump. So the mission is, we got a full tank of gas in here. We gassed up on the way home, okay, before it died, obviously. We got to siphon off this gas today, and tomorrow we're going to have to bring some tools from Weapons Academy and drop this tank in the garage. So we're basically going to be doing a field repair at home, and luckily we're here because out in the field this could be a nightmare. Anyway, hang in there with us. Let's get to work. And on another note, just to add something, we are filming this video on Sony's CCD VX3 high 8 camcorder, a camcorder that was popular back in the 1990s, just to better replicate how this Jeep would have appeared back in that era. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so we've got the fuel gauge, all right, connected, and when I turn on the ignition, I want you to see if you can see that tick. All right, did you see that? Let me see if it should do it one more time, okay? All right, so that is the fuel pump actually engaging, but that's the maximum pressure. Now, it never did hold, but it should go up to about 30 pounds and then drop. So when we turn it over, that's it. So it's not holding or sustaining fuel pressure, and we know it's not the regulator. Okay, so here we've got the intake opened, removed it from the air box. Okay, and I'm just going to give it a couple of shots of starter fluid here, and we're going to turn it over, see what happens. Okay, so again, the fuel pressure came up to 4 pounds. We saw that it started with the carburetor cleaner or the starter fluid, and that lets us know that everything electrically is working fine. And again, it's all pointing towards the fuel pump. Now, there's your intake and your output hoses here on the fuel rail. We have pinched those off down there, or the output hose, to see if it would build fuel pressure, and it still didn't build any fuel pressure. So it's just not getting anything from the fuel pump. So let's get to work on that. All right, so we've got a siphon hose here. I've disconnected the main fuel hose going into the tank, and we've got fuel flow. So we are siphoning off as we speak. And this is going to take a while because it's not going fast. All right, so we're on our third tank. Looks like using our little siphon hose, we're going to be able to draw out about 15 gallons, which will make removal of that fuel tank a lot easier. Okay, so that's going to take us to a stopping point for today. Using our siphon hose, we've drawn off about 13 gallons of gasoline, and that's going to make a big difference when it comes to dropping that tank. So the next step is we got to get some tools here, mainly a floor jack. And I could do it without if I had to, but I have the tools, so why not? Floor jack, a creeper, and we got some bolts to remove. That tank should be out. The hoses are already disconnected. I disconnected them to siphon off the gas, so we'll see in a few when we pick back up on this in a couple of days. All right, so it's been a couple of days. We're gonna see if we can get this tank dropped right here in the garage. So, forgot the creeper. It's out at the range, out at Weapons Academy, so this is gonna be a true trail repair in the garage. I'm gonna have to get on my back and get underneath this thing to get the bolts loose. We do have a floor jack, so we should be able to lower it down easily. We're probably gonna have to maneuver a little bit, but let's get in there and find out. And there it is. Should be able to get it out from there, no problem. All right, so there is the fuel pump unit. All we got to do now is take these 6 bolts out, and then we'll be able to lift this right out of here. I'll need to disconnect this right up there. There's a connection. We'll be able to lift this out of there and test it, see what's going on, see if it needs to be replaced, or if that hose is what's gone bad. Let's get to it. There it is right there. There's the failure. Busted hose. Crown Automotive. Shame on you. Cheap parts. See it? Look there, it's got debris coming out of it. Well, there you have it, folks. That's what caused my issue right there. Busted hose. Okay, so you can clearly see that this fuel pump looks like a brand new unit. Okay, and there is where it failed, right there. You can see the hole in it. You can see the lining. Look at that. Of the inner lining of this hose coming off. So, you know, the big question is now: do I just get a whole new fuel pump, or do I just replace this hose? Okay, this does not have a check valve in it, which I didn't like anyway, but I could install one on top right here. But this is not good, folks, and this is on the, okay, no, that's the outbound line. That's the sending line right there. That's the one that broke, so if I installed a check valve, I'd install it on this side, but I'll be damned. Well, that's definitely not anything you would want to do out in the field. If we had to do it in the field, we could, but there you have it. Crown Automotive fuel pump, less than 5,000 miles, failure. All right, so we actually have the fuel pump disassembled. This is the actual fuel pump and the pickup itself. Still got a little gasoline coming out of it. A little support that holds it to the mounting bracket there. Okay, and then here's the tower assembly with the sending unit for the fuel gauge, okay? And then this hose, this broken hose, again, you can see that right there where that split on us, okay? That connected here, and then again, it connected here on top of the fuel pump. So you can see these components all look brand new. So I'm thinking more it's just going to be a matter of, I mean, this is actually a pretty a pretty soft piece of hose here, okay? So I'm thinking I'm just going to get a new piece of hose here. I'm going to double up on the clamps. Okay, I'm going to get the highest pressure hose that I can get. I know it's got to hold 50, 60 psi, but I'm going to get, you know, whatever they've got this size that's high, and I'm going to install a check valve on the outside of this on top of my fuel tank to hold my pressure, because I have some long starts because I lose pressure. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and stop for today because we got to go to the auto parts store tomorrow for this. I think this should work, but we'll get back with you next episode as we put all this back together. Okay, we hope you enjoy these Adventure Backcountry Project YJ videos. We would appreciate you liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. We're kind of new at Adventure Backcountry. We broke off from Weapons Academy because Weapons Academy gets censored by YouTube and the other search engines just because of the nature of what it is. So we've separated the Jeep and the off-road videos from that. Now, for the second part of this video, you probably notice quite a bit of jump in clarity. We filmed the second part with the Sony AX700 as opposed to the Hi8. The reason why is I just got it back out of the shop. It had a broken lens from a previous video. We sent it off, the shop replaced the lens, did a bang-up job, and we wanted to just give it a test run. So it was sitting there ready to go, so we fired it up and used the AX700 to film the second part of this video, and we wanted to kind of bring you the detail of what was revealed in that tank. I was expecting to find what I found, as you heard me say in the first part. But anyway, we appreciate you watching. We'll see you on the next part of this video where we put this mess back together.